Hello everyone and welcome to the Week 18 edition of Instant Replay, where I give you my take on the most controversial calls of the weekend. I'm Simon Borg. Remember a few weeks back when we broke down Shoegate in San Jose? That's when Earthquakes players Alan Gordon and Victor Bernardez had wardrobe malfunctions and changed their footwear in a match against Vancouver. But because of Law 4 and FIFA's laws of the game, they were not allowed back on the field until the next stoppage in play. By then, the Caps had scored an equalizer. Well, maybe word didn't get around enough because it was deja vu all over again at StubHub Center on Saturday. This time, the episode featured Sire Sen of the New England Revolution. In the 31st minute, you see him move to the sideline to resolve what the announcers called a sock issue. Well, manager Jay Heaps and Sen himself are apparently besides themselves that he cannot get back into the game before a stoppage. But hey, referee Fotis Mazakos is only doing his job. Staying in California for the Cali Clasico and the stirring San Jose Earthquakes comeback win. But one of the goal scorers for the Quakes, Shea Salinas, should probably have been off the field as early as the 5th minute of play. Salinas was in a tussle for the ball with LA captain Robbie Keane, and it looks like Salinas cocks his elbow and fires it back into Keane. But he misses! The Galaxy captain tries his best to alert referee Armando Villarreal, who doesn't punish it. But you wonder if this will earn the Quake swinger a suspension nonetheless. Stephen Lenhart was also in the mix at Stanford Stadium, throwing his body around on a few set-piece attempts. In the 27th minute, he barrels into LA defender Todd Donovan. No card. But it happens again in the 51st minute when he smashes into Juninho and actually causes a gash on his own head. Look, you have to appreciate Lenhart's fearlessness when he goes into challenges, but I think both of those instances are worthy of yellow cards for their reckless nature. The other Earthquakes bash brother, Alan Gordon, was the hero for San Jose with 2 goals, but it's this one in the 68th minute that upset the LA Galaxy because of an alleged push on AJ De La Garza. But from the angles we have, there's no way we can say definitively if Gordon did anything to send him to the ground. No one gave the Quakes a chance in this one after defender Victor Bernardez was sent off for a second yellow just 8 minutes after receiving his first caution card. Some suggested this was simulation by Juninho, but I'm not so sure. There's no graphic leg-on-leg impact, and lucky for Juninho there isn't, but we can't say for sure whether Bernardez's studs raked Juninho's right leg. But even if there wasn't contact, I would still have given Bernardez a second yellow for the reckless attempt at a tackle. There was also a second yellow and subsequent red shown in the Philadelphia-Dallas match to Javon Watson. Here, too, there's a debate on whether there's any contact between Watson and Philly defender Amobi Okugo. From this angle, I think it's pretty clear that Watson flings himself into the air. That's simulation and an automatic yellow card. Referee Alan Chapman was in perfect position to see him. But the big talking point in this game was the goal line clearance by Philly's Shannon Williams in stoppage time. The freeze frame from the angle we have shows that the ball appears to cross the line, but it's impossible for the officiating crew to see it, and this camera angle could trick the eye. Assistant referee Matthew Kreitzer is still sprinting down the sideline after the unexpected backward header, and he's only standing on the goal line after the ball has already been cleared. When it comes to referee Alan Chapman, his angle doesn't allow him to get a full view. Look, it's moments like these that justify FIFA's green light for the goal line technology. The proponents of its introduction in MLS now have another instance to help make their case. Dallas would eventually equalize in this game, but that too was not without controversy. First, the Union argued the fact that the goal came after the allotted 5 minutes of added time. But you did have a substitution, 2 yellow cards, and a few other stoppages of play, so an extra minute on top of the 5 is not out of the realm. But then Union keeper Zach McMath is also irate because he feels he was fouled by Dallas defender London Woodbury as he attempted to get to this ball. But Woodbury doesn't have any idea McMath is coming. It's McMath who runs into Woodbury and fails to catch the ball. That's a good goal. Now, down the turnpike to DC, where head coach Ben Olsen was incensed after the match for 2 specific plays. First, the penalty kick call in the 47th minute in favor of Vancouver, which decided the match. It's a risky play by goalkeeper Bill Hamid, who comes off his line to challenge Matt Watson in the box. To me, it looks a lot worse in real time than it does on the replay, which is why I'm not surprised that referee Matthew Forrester whistles for the penalty. But here's the judgment the referee needs to use in these cases to determine if there was a foul. Was the challenge careless, reckless, or did it involve the use of violent force? If any of those 3 apply, a foul should be whistled. But after seeing the replay, I'm not sure any of them do. Ultimately, it's a judgment call, and Forster went with the foul. Then, in second half stoppage time, Olsen wanted a handball in the box called on Vancouver's Brad Rusin. But this, in my opinion, is purely incidental. Ball to hand. Good no call by the referee. But let's go back to that Hamid Watson play and compare it to the play which led to the Rapids' game winner, except this one wasn't in the box. Look at how Chris Clute makes the sweeping tackle on Davy Arnaud to start the Rapids' counterattack. But he takes out the player in the process. Again here, is the tackle careless, reckless, or use excessive force? Not really, which is why the play is a great one by Clute. The Rapids were fortunate they weren't playing with 10 men as early as the 48th minute. Look at how Colorado defender Herman Mera moves to stomp on the leg of Montreal's Felipe. If you're calling a foul for a stomp, that's all there is on that play, then it has to be red for me. You see the assistant motion for a card, but referee Drew Fisher only pulls out a yellow. The impact also should have seen a red card in my opinion. Look at how Jeb Brofsky goes in studs up on Atiba Harris. Terrible tackle. I think yellow is too lenient by Fisher in that spot. And one last play to look at here. It's the 90th minute, and Tony Cassio inexplicably comes in with the late push on Hassoun Kamara, sending him flying into his own bench. First, I think Cassio should have received at least a caution card, and he gets nothing here. Second, look at how Marcos Schalabam enters the field to play on this one. Oscar Pareja did it to play peacemaker a couple weeks back, and he got suspended by the disciplinary committee. Will Schalabam get the same treatment? And what of assistant coach Philippe Ulafroy, who flings the ball back in play? Lucky for him, he doesn't hit anybody, but the league will likely be having a second look at that one. Staying in Canada, but moving west to Toronto, where TFC manager Ryan Nelson felt his team had a, quote, stone-cold penalty in the 42nd minute of their match against Real Salt Lake. Are you kidding me? RSL defender Nat Borchers is not even looking. How can he possibly be fouling Jeremy Brockie? But wait, there's more. Nelson also suggested that if a penalty is not called, then a yellow needs to be given to Brockie for diving. No, not here. Brockie clearly trips up when he clips Borchers. Incidental contact. Referee Chris Penso lets play continue, and it's a great call. Penso would be busy later in the match in the 79th minute, sending off both Tony Beltran and Daniel Henry after this scuffle. No argument there. But Toronto's Luis Silva should also have received his marching orders. Look at how he kicks out at Beltran. He didn't get a red card, but Silva could still be looking at a suspension. But it's not just Silva who may be in trouble with the disciplinary committee. Look at Robbie Findley's role in the melee that follows. It looks to me like he gets 3 separate shoves on players, and then we spot shadow the violent confrontation between RSL's Aaron Mond and Jonathan Osorio, which Mond initiates. Something tells me the book is not closed on this one. That's all we have for this week. See you next time.